What is going on, Odd Squad? It is Friday. It is time for the After the Weigh-In show. These are the final locked-in picks from myself, my man MMA Prediction Guru, and DFS By The Numbers. How are you doing, Guru?
What's up, man? How you doing, dude? Ready to get it going? It's a pretty good card, better than last week for sure, so pretty excited for it.
Absolutely. How you feeling, DFS?
I'm feeling pretty good. I actually like this card a lot. Although there is a bunch of big favorites, there are some spots I still like, and we're definitely going to talk about them this week, and we're going to make some money.
That's what I like to hear. I love the attitude. All right, so I guess let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it, guys. First fight of the night, which it looks like we have had the lineup jumbled a little bit earlier today. We got Mallory Martin versus Hannah Cyphers. Who wants to pop off on this one first?
Yeah, I'll go, I guess. And man, I mean, the fight isn't that good, but I do feel like there's potentially some, spots you could maybe bet on just from the styles of the two fighters. Like, and when you're talking about the weigh-in, Hannah Cyphers did miss weight, which I think is weird because I feel like she's one of the smaller girls in the division. So I'm not sure what happened there. It could be, an injury, something, but who knows what it is. She has been fighting real frequently. This is going to be her third fight in 3 months, which I don't really like because I don't think she's recovering that well. And I feel like you're not going to see any improvement either. It's going to be the same thing. And what I've noticed with Hannah Cyphers is she's obviously on the feet. If she can hit you with like the overhand right, the straight punches that she has, she hits hard, but her footwork is not very good. She's one of the shortest, smallest girls in the division. So like she overextends on a lot of punches. And I feel like in the clinch, she's pretty impressive. Like everyone talks about her strength and all that, but like on the leg, she doesn't really defend takedowns that well, singles, doubles. And that's what Martin does. I mean, she has good forward pressure, good double leg. And Hannah Cyphers hasn't really shown to be very good on bottom. I mean, we've seen even Angela Hill finish her from top position in the mount. And Angela Hill isn't really known, as a grappler. She's been finished 3 times in a row. I think she's been finishing almost all of her losses. So I don't know. I think that it's a good matchup for Martin. I definitely think they wanted to win. And I mean, for her to win inside the distance, I don't think that's out of the realm possibility just because Cyphers gets finished so much. So at plus 240, I don't think that's a terrible play, to be honest with you.
DFS, how you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I'm with Grover here. I do like Martin quite a bit. I'm actually really confident in it, as much confidence as you can have in a women's MMA fight at this point. But I just like the matchup for her. I think the UFC is giving Cyphers this fight because they want to get Mallory Martin a win. Everybody knows what Cyphers struggles with, and that is the ground game. And Martin has some pretty good wrestling. If Martin's able to get this on the ground, I think that she could possibly get a finish here. And like Ruben mentioned, the plus 240 is something I'm really looking at because Cyphers has been finished in 5 of her 6 losses. So I don't know. I like Martin to win. I think it's a potential parlay piece. I'm not personally parlaying it, but I don't hate it as a parlay piece. But the plus 240 by finish is something I really like.
Nice, man. So there you go. DFS already giving you that spicy prop. I like it. Yeah, man, for me, this fight, hey, women's MMA, but let's not get too deep into that. What can we say? It's been just a crazy, crazy year for women's MMA, and we learned that lesson with the biggest upset in UFC history last Saturday. But I'm with you guys all the way, man. Mallory Martin, you guys have said everything I need to say. It's what's Cypher's weakness? The grappling. Are they trying to build up this Mallory Martin chick? I believe so. Mallory Martin, big time favorite. I gotta go Martin, but man, unless you can find that prop like my man DFS has, hard to get some money on it. But you know what? I feel a little bit better. DFS saying he's willing to do it. So I don't know. Maybe we pull the trigger on that one. But yeah, tough matchup. But I feel like Mallory Martin should definitely win this fight. Undersized Hannah Cyphers. Mallory Martin's not a big fighter either, but I think she should be able to get it done. Anything else you guys want to add to this one?
No, not really. I mean, it's first fight for a reason, I think, for sure.
We said all we can say, right, guys?
Exactly.
All right. So how about another one? We got Emily Whitmire going up against Polyana Viana. DFS, why don't you kick this one off?
Yeah, I mean, we got a low-level women's MMA fight here. And the thing is, this was close to a pick 'em earlier in the week, and I think Whitmire is like close to like minus 130, minus 140 now. So people really have some confidence in her. And I don't know. I think she wins. I think she's better on the feet. She has some good wrestling. I do think she can get Viana down, but Whitmire has been submitted in all 3 of her losses. And I don't know. Viana's not, I think she's good on the ground. I think she's a little bit overrated, but would I be surprised if Whitmire got submitted with Viana on the bottom? Not at all. It's low-level women's MMA, but I do think Whitmire has a path to victory, and that is either grinding out a decision or even finding a submission herself. Not high on Viana at all. I think she's pretty overrated, and we're starting to finally see that. I think she's lost like 3 in a row or something like that. Whitmire is not somebody I'm too high on, but I do think she gets it done. But like I said, it's not something I personally would put my money on either way, because then again, like Viana could get a subs in some type of way. So it's going to be a pass for me. If anything, maybe the fight doesn't go to decision is like plus money. Viana has finished 100% of her fights, and maybe Whitmire gets a submission or something. But other than that, definitely going to stay away and just sit back and watch.
I feel that. Now let me shoot it to my man with the inside word on everything that is Emily Whitmire. MMA prediction guru, let us know about this one.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a good fight for sure. They already tried to set the fight up for March. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a good spot for Emily Whitmire to bounce back because, when you look at her losses in the UFC, I mean, Amanda Ribas, Jillian Robertson, Roxanne, I mean, all those girls are, in the top 10, arguably. Maybe Robertson's in the top 10, but she's in the top 15. And so she's been losing a lot higher level girls than Viana. I mean, Viana got submitted by Veronica Macedo in her last fight. She lost to Hannah Cyphers that we just talked about. So she's losing to like bottom of the barrel competition. Whereas, at least Whitmire, when she fights, that lower level, like when she fought Alexandra Albu, she had the, fastest finish in women's strawweight history. So she's blowing those girls out of the water. So I think, that's something you kind of have to look at. And, she has switched over to Syndicate MMA where there's a lot of girls training, Roxanne Modafferi has a fight coming up. JoJo just fought recently. Sarah Kaufman is over there. There's a lot of girls there, whereas at Extreme Couture, that's obviously a good camp, but wasn't as many people, like girls that she was working with over there. So, I mean, I feel like as far as the style matchup goes, Viana on the feet throws a lot of kicks, but I don't think she really has much power, and she's not really good with the hands. She got dropped by Hannah Cyphers, so her defensive boxing isn't that good. So I feel like Whitmire is definitely going to be having the better hands. I've seen her, like working mitt work and trying to, get better with that. And I think off bottom, Polyana has shown that she can get control, just accept bottom position, like against Cyphers, against JJ Aldridge. And Whitmire is pretty good ground and pound. The only thing with Emily is when she's been put in some bad positions, she's, gave up at some fights where it's like a mental thing. So it's hard to, bet on people like that. But I think that she's definitely better. I mean, I feel like she should definitely win the fight.
Right on. Yeah, man, I tell you what, I'm with you guys. I'm going to take Whitmire. Man, one thing that's terrifying, though, is like, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Whitmire's record is 4-3. Like, you wouldn't find a guy in the UFC with that record. You know what I'm saying? Like, now don't get me wrong. She's had some decent wins. You look at Polyana Viana, a much stronger record, but you look at who she's fought and who the wins have been against. It's like some of the worst competition, like in the world, truly, And I know Viana and Guru, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this chick's won some like serious jiu-jitsu contests. Like she's got.
I think she was like a jiu-jitsu. It was purple belt though, but she still won. Okay. I mean, she won the. Okay. It was like I don't know. It was a world's competition, but I mean, I don't think she was like one of the best purple belts in the world or anything. But she did win. So I mean, she's not like she is pretty good on the ground. But
sure. Do you know what Whitmire is? What belt does she have?
Purple.
Oh, okay. So not too bad.
So I think Polyana is a brown belt now though, but I don't even know. But
okay, sure.
But I mean, still, yeah, but.
For sure. I mean, yeah, I totally get it. I'm with you guys. I'm going to pick Whitmire to win. Polyana's just been like terrible in those losses. And I just don't think that someone even on the level of Whitmire, I think Whitmire is just too good. Now don't get me wrong. Again, women's MMA, we're beating a dead horse here. Almost anything could happen. I think either one could snatch up either one at any moment. But we got to make a pick. I'm going to take Whitmire. This is an absolute pass. I'm going to slither right around this fight. Not a chance I'm betting on this one. But Yeah, man. Should be a decent scrap. 2 women's fights to kick off the card. I feel like we're in Brazil. There used to be a tactic in Brazil. I don't think the Brazilians like women's fighting as much as the rest of the world. So they kind of would get them out of the way. I don't know what the deal is, but it is what it is. We got 2 women's fights to kick it off. Anything else you guys want to add to this one?
Nope. Let's move on.
Let's get to some good stuff. All right. We got Sean Brady going up against Christian Aguilera. Guru, are we back to you popping them off?
Yeah, man. And I mean, I like Sean Brady. I picked him in his 2 UFC fights, and those 2 fights, I mean, he was closely lined. This one, he's obviously a big favorite. So, I mean, in terms of betting on the straight line, I'm not really a fan of that minus 400 or whatever it is. But like DFS said, I do think that there is potential for that inside the distance finish. Just the way that Aguilera fights. I mean, he has, I think, 12 first-round knockouts, and like 6 of them are under a minute, just like his debut. So comes out really hard, kind of a killer-be-killed guy. He is a black belt, so he has good grappling, but I've seen him kind of get tired, accept bottom position, and then, just get ground and pounded, kind of like give up in a position. So I definitely could see Brady doing that. He's a grinder, a black belt himself, and his striking isn't bad either. I feel like, obviously, the first round, he has to be careful with a guy like Aguilera. I mean, if he can hit you, he can knock out anyone in that division for sure. But other than that, I mean, I think that, the line is pretty warranted. I feel like Brady should go out there and get the win. So, yeah, I could see the finish happening as well. Even though Brady is more of a decision guy, I could see him, getting a finish in this one.
What do you think, DFS?
Yeah, I like Brady a lot here, and it's actually my first play. I did get Sean Brady inside the distance at plus 150. I like that quite a bit, and I'll tell you why. I mean, I'm really high on Sean Brady. I think he's very good. This is a very winnable fight for him. Although Aguilera is dangerous, especially in that first round, the path to least resistance would be Brady taking down Aguilera. I've seen Aguilera taken down by lower-level guys, controlled for minutes at a time, and also giving up bad spots. I don't really think that's going to slide against a guy like Sean Brady, especially in the later rounds where Aguilera tends to slow down. So I like Brady a lot. I have him inside the distance. He is also the first leg of my 2-leg parlay there. And I think he gets it done, and I think he gets it done probably late second, early third round, and I'm pretty confident in that.
Nice. I actually have Brady in at 1 leg as a parlay too for someone else in the card. So,
and guess what? Let's make it a 3-peat. I'm going to have him as the first leg of a parlay as well. I like the fact that he's 3rd fight of the night. He was supposed to be 1st fight of the night. I'm pretty sure all week this has been the 1st fight on the card. Like I said, things got a little mixed up. He's still the 3rd fight. I like that. I like getting a nice early leg in. You know what I mean? Sitting on a half cashed parlay before the early prelims are even done. I'm with you guys fully, man. Brady, I think he's the biggest favorite on the card. This kid's good, okay? And I wasn't totally sold on him coming into the UFC. I actually picked Court McGee. I thought Court was going to be a little too slick, a little too savvy for this kid this early in his career. I was wrong. Sean Brady looked great in that fight. Went in there against Austrian Wonderboy, just won that fight. I mean, this is an undefeated kid who appears to have the necessary skills in every area of the game. I look at a guy like Christian Aguilera. I want to say he's 14-5 or something similar to that. You look at those 5 losses, all 5 of those guys are not on Brady's level. Now, don't get me wrong. Has Aguilera grown? Is he a better fighter now that he's in the UFC? I would say so, but I just think Brady's too much for this guy. I like Brady literally in every area of this game. Aguilera, to me, puncher's chance probably at best. But if Brady makes it outside probably the first 3 minutes of the first round, it's all Brady, Sean Brady from that point. He's going to be the first leg of a parlay for myself as well. So,
oh yeah, there we go.
If you guys didn't know, we're real confident Brady should win this fight. He is the biggest favorite, chalkiest guy on the card, I believe. Anything you guys want to add, or do we keep on rolling?
I do want to add something. Like,
all right.
A lot of people are saying Brady is a decision guy, and that could be true. But in his first 2 fights, he fought Court McKee, which he's been finished once in his whole MMA career. And then the next fight, Nardiev. And again, he was finished once in his MMA career. So these guys don't get finished. And Aguilera, he's been finished 4 times, all by knockout. He's lost by decision twice. So, he's getting finished by these lower level guys, guys that are not the caliber fighter of Brady. So if they're getting it done, I think Brady's able to get it done.
That's some great points, my man. Absolutely great points. Because I do see we got a lot of people in the chat that are really split on whether Brady's going to get the finish or if he's going to get it inside the distance. guy's minus 400, so I can totally understand people trying to find a way to kind of sweeten that number on Brady. But man, good stuff, DFS. I tend to agree with you, man. I think he absolutely could finish this fight. What do you think, Guru? Are you seeing more Brady ITD, or you think we go to the cards?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to come up to Aguilera because I do think that, he's probably tough enough to go 3 rounds, but it's the gas tank issue. So, I mean, I don't think he's like overmatched, like where Brady's going to knock him out or be able to just dominate him and submit him. But if he can get him tired, grind him down, then I could definitely see, Aguilera just quitting or 1 and out of there type thing, because that's kind of most of his losses. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's a potential because Brady's a grinder, and we've seen, Aguilera kind of, give up after he got tired. So it's possible. But yeah, like people are saying in the chat too, Aguilera did look really big at the weigh-ins, like way bigger than Sean Brady. But I don't know. I'm still pretty confident Brady will get the win.
Yeah, I don't think Brady's that big of a dude. I think he's like kind of one of those. He doesn't necessarily have the biggest frame, but he's pretty thick. I think he's pretty strong and pretty powerful. You know what I mean? So I felt the same way about Court McGee in his first fight. I think Court had size on him as far as frame wise. Just didn't seem to matter, man. Brady was just more athletic, stronger, more powerful. And this actually, I don't know if he's going to be the harder hitter. I think he's going to have the far better gas tank. I just think he's going to drag Aguilera into that deep water. And I think you guys might be right. We might be seeing a second or third round finish here. I'm not sure though. I'm going to parlay him up though straight, and that's how I'm going to rock with it. Anything else? We moving on?
Yep.
Oh, next fight of the night, we got. Oh man, I can't wait to hear what you guys are going to say about this one. We got Alex Caceres versus Austin Springer. I believe you're up to the plate on this one, DFS.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's going to be a good fight. I mean, it seems like a lot of people always underrate Alex Caceres. Like Chase Hooper, it was like a minus 200 favorite against him, which was, not accurate at all. And we all saw what happened with that. But I think this is a very winnable fight for him. I do think he's the better fighter. What I guess I'd have to worry about is Springer does look like he has some power. But Caceres, he does not lose him by knockout. He's a good chan. He's out there. When he loses, it's typically by submission. Caceres does have 4 submission losses, 1 by KO. I don't think he's the best fighter, but man, did he look good against Chase Hooper. And I know that's not saying a lot because Chase Hooper is, not the best on the feet, but I don't know. I like this fight for him. And Springer came in like 6 pounds overweight, which is a ton. So I kind of question what kind of shape he's in and how he's going to look later in the rounds. I think Caceres is definitely going to be tough enough to survive maybe an early onslaught from Springer and then just take over, round 2 and round 3 and probably get a decision win here. But I bet it at the line it is now. I think Caceres is like minus 185. Personally, I'm going to stay away. Caceres is typically a guy you do not want to bet on, especially as a favorite. So probably going to sit back and watch. But it should be a fun fight.
Amen to that. Guru, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I went back, I watched some of Springer's fights. Like I watched his fight with Giga on the Contender. I watched another fight of his, and I mean, he seems like he's not that athletic, but he has decent power. He'll throw like hard hooks and some decent low kicks, and he likes to get these takedowns with like these upper body clinches. But to me, his wrestling really isn't that good. I mean, he will shoot in on the legs against the cage, and he got Giga down a couple times, but I mean, I just wasn't that impressed with his wrestling. He didn't look that explosive either, but he did. I mean, you got to give him credit in that fight with Giga because he was losing the whole fight. He kind of got beat up on the feet. And then in the third round, I mean, his coaches told him in the corner, like, you got to get him down, get them out. And he did it. I mean, he got him down. He took them out, took the back, submitted him, got the win. So that was good. But, I mean, it's like, I don't know. Giga was throwing a lot of kicks in that fight, and he wasn't really controlling the range that good. He was throwing all these big flying knees, stuff like that, and wasn't that experienced. I mean, it was even Giga like lower level than he is now. I feel like Caceres is going to be a little bit smarter than that, more than likely, throw more punches, keep the range. And I feel like on the feet, he's going to have a big advantage. If the cardio, if he had his cardio up, like DFS said, that makes me a little worried with the weight cut because he's a guy for this fight to win. I feel like he would kind of have to wear on Caceres a little bit and get like a late submission like he did to Giga. And if his cardio isn't there, then it probably won't happen. But, Caceres isn't really a guy that has power, doesn't have a lot of finishes. So, I mean, I could probably see him getting a decision here.
I got a quick question for you, Guru. So if Springer and Giga fought literally tomorrow in the UFC, you're all over Giga in that matchup, right?
Yeah, I would take Giga. I mean, even on the ground in the first round, like Springer took him down, and I thought Giga still won the round because he was like landing elbows on off of his back. He threw up a triangle, omoplata, and I mean, Springer wasn't really active on top. Like it doesn't look like when he takes guys down, sometimes like he'll just hang out in the guard and just chill there. So yeah, I feel like Caceres should win the fight, but man, it is hard to trust Caceres. So,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I would have bet on him for sure.
No, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you get these guys are sharp. I mean, come on, betting on Alex Caceres. I'd rather bet on women's MMA. You know what I'm saying? Like it's rough, man. He's one of these guys. You try to back him, he's gonna screw you. You go against him, he's gonna screw you. I mean, he's just. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Alex Caceres' record's like 16-12. So my guy wins some fights, but he loses basically just as many. And here's another thing that's really stood out to me, okay? You dig into that record of Caceres, he's been subbed a lot, but not just like a multitude of ways he's getting caught. This dude has 12 losses. I'm not over-exaggerating when I say it's got to be 8 or 9 RNCs. This guy if you get this guy's back, you are choking him out. He's tapping. Like
I will say, his fight with Chase Hooper though, he was doing good with the 2-on-1 defense. I was surprised because I was like thinking, yeah, like if he takes his back, he's gonna sub him, like you said. And then he was like he was doing real good with the defense. Like I don't know if Chase Hooper obviously isn't that strong,
yeah,
but the technique was good. I mean, he was every single time he was hitting the 2-on-1 and like getting space and circling off. So I was like, I don't know where that's been, but
that's how everybody, you know what, Chase Hooper ended up like a -185 favorite by the time that fight went off. Like, and I think he started as an underdog or close to even. Yeah, people said, okay, so Caceres gets RNC'd constantly. This skinny kid has nothing but some jiu-jitsu. This kid's eventually going to find that back and choke him out. It didn't happen. Apparently, sometimes 10 years into your MMA career, you learn to defend a rear naked choke, you know? Now, is Chase Hooper not that good? Yeah, this kid's still super, super green. But, man, Caceres, tough spot, man. I really thought going into this one pre-research, you know, Springer, this could be a good spot as the underdog. Man, I came out of it saying, you know what, this is a fight Caceres really should win. He just needs to go out there, do the thing, use a little fight IQ, don't get caught in a stupid spot. Use the gas tank, stretch this fight out, somehow get a decision win here is what I'm seeing. But like you guys said, man, how could you ever back a guy like Alex Caceres with your hard-earned money? I don't think you can. Big time pass for me. Is there anything we need to add to this one?
Nope.
Nah.
Cool. We're rolling. So that takes us up to this is an interesting one here too. Zach Cummings versus Alessio de Chirico. Who do we got up on this one?
I think Guru.
Okay. Yeah, this is a good fight. I mean, I like both guys. I mean, they're kind of like technical brawlers. Like both of them have fun fights, but if you look at the competition level with de Chirico, I mean, he's fought like real terrible guys. Like I think he went to split decision with Gareth McClellan, and you know, he beat Julian Marquez by split decision, I believe. So I mean, he's not fighting the same level guys Zach Cummings is fighting. I mean, Cummings just fought Omari, who, I mean, lost to Chris Weidman, but Weidman, you know, he won a round against him, was taking Chris Weidman down. So, I mean, Cummings getting taken down by Omari doesn't look as bad after that to me, you know, if he's taking down Chris Weidman. And, you know, Cummings, to me, has beaten a lot better fighters. Like, he's beaten Nick Dalby, some decent guys in the UFC. And he's the more dangerous guy to me. I mean, he could catch a submission or get a knockout, I think, even though neither guy's been finished. And Cummings is super durable, man. I mean, he takes, like, some crazy shots. I mean, I don't even think I've ever seen him get dropped before. So he's a guy that's real hard to finish. And I don't know. I mean, this is a fight that I'm kind of, you know, don't have a great read on, to be honest with you. But I just feel like Cummings, he's fought and he's beat the better competition level. And he's probably more dangerous, better on the ground. So I think Cummings will get the win here.
Woo, it's a good one. DFS, you feeling the same, or do we got a disagreement here? I'm smelling out a disagreement.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree. I mean, it's gonna be a really close fight. I mean, a lot of de Chirico's fights are very close split decisions. Just looking at the numbers here, like Zach Cummings doesn't throw much, 2.8 significant strikes per minute compared to Chirico's 3.2. Also want to point out Chirico lands about 2 takedowns per 15 minutes, and Cummings does have like a 64% takedown defense. Both these guys are going to throw very low volume. These are not the most exciting fighters. Honestly, I'd rather watch the Cyphers fight than this one. I think this is probably the worst fight on the card, honestly. They just don't do much, So I think there's going to be a lot of standing there, not many strikes thrown. And I'm just going to slightly edge Chirico here just to do a little bit more, maybe land a takedown, stay out of trouble, don't get subbed. Both these guys are extremely tough. I don't think either guy's going to knock anybody out. Both guys have very good chins. I see it going to a split decision, maybe a controversial decision where maybe you disagree, but I see it being very close. I don't know if I can put money on either side here. I mean, Zach Cummings to me didn't look too great at the weigh-ins. Chirico looked fantastic. So I don't know if Chirico maybe gets to an underdog. I'll take a look, but most likely going to be a pass fight, which is a very, very close fight here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to side with my man DFS by the numbers on this one. I just, previous to today, coming into weigh-ins today, these guys were dead even. I mean, I pick them at any book. You know what I'm saying? There didn't seem to be a strong lean by the public, by sharps, by anybody. This seemed to be your coin flip fight. You know what I'm saying? I watched the tape on these guys. I see a legit path to victory for either guy. Like, I can lay you out a game plan for either guy, what they need to do to win this fight. The problem is I can't decide which seems more likely. For me, this was literally a coin flip. We come into the weigh-ins today. This is the after the weigh-in show, people. I watched those weigh-ins. I saw Zach Cummings. Now, don't get me wrong. Prediction Guru brought up a good point. Zach Cummings ain't winning no bodybuilding contests in this lifetime, or, it's just not going to happen. But I feel like the dude looks a little softer, a little flatter, a little more out of shape than normal. It makes me wonder, what kind of training's he getting in? The guy is getting old. He's 36 years old. A fight this close, I said to myself, give me the young guy. Then we come into the weigh-ins and I go, oh no, and now the old guy's not looking physically too good? That's enough right there. I feel like when I weigh this fight in either hand, the weight shifts to Chirico just off those factors alone. I'm going to take Chirico. I'm going to pick Chirico to win. Not going to be surprised if Cummings pulls it off. My gosh, he's one of those guys that, again, another one of those guys that I swear, every time I've ever tried to back him, he's burned me. And every time I go, oh, this guy's definitely going to beat Zach Cummings, he surprises you. You know what I mean? So, honestly, both guys, Chirico or Cummings, just tough guys to really have any money, any confidence in. But I'm going to take the more in shape, younger guy who I feel like I can see winning the fight. But, man, this fight absolutely reeks of split decision. Don't you guys think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a close one. And it's probably going to be one of those fights where, two judges are going to see it 29-28 one guy, and one guy's going to see it 29-28 the other, and you're not going to be able to fault anybody. It's the problem with this sport is every person who sits down and judges the fight, we all have different criteria on who's winning, So I just think it's going to be a very close fight. Another one that I just think you got to pass. But I'm going to say this. I think either guy you're taking, if you want to sweeten it a little bit, I would say take by decision. Neither guy's been a big-time finisher. Chirico did have the good one against Alawale Bamboche, but I just think Cummings is way tougher than him. I see this fight definitely making it to the scorecards.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Cummings. The only way I could see, honestly, getting a finish is if Cummings got a submission. Because, I mean, his guillotine is really good. Like, I think he has a couple of those in the UFC. But, yeah, other than that, I don't think anyone's going to knock anyone out. I think they'll probably, go to decision most likely. There you go. Boom. And it looks like we got somebody in the chat. Fight to not go the distance is plus odds. Well, that probably makes sense then, actually. But I don't know, man. Crazy fight. Tough one to get a read on. Anything else we want to add, or are we moving right along?
We're good.
Let's keep her rolling. Okay, another good one, man. I'm very excited for this match. We got Maki Patolo going up against Impa Kasanganay. DFS, I think you're up on this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably for me personally, the toughest fight to call because, Kasanganay is so new to the game. I think he's been fighting MMA since 3 years. 2017, I think, was his first amateur fight, something like that. So he's kind of new to the game. Patolo's been around. Patolo has 19 fights compared to Impa's 7 fights. And I don't know. I went into it before tape thinking, man, I'm going to bet Patolo as an underdog. I mean, I don't understand why he is the underdog. He has the more experience. He's a dangerous fighter. Impa's not dangerous. He wins a lot by decision. And just watching the tape, I see a clear path to victory for Impa, and that is grinding out Patolo, putting him against the cage, taking him down, laying on him, grinding him out, getting Patolo tired. But it's really hard to be confident in that. I mean, Patolo is probably better on the feet. Impa does look a little bit hittable. Impa looks very green on the ground as well. Patolo is someone who just got submitted by Darren Stewart, which was Stewart's first submission. Patolo lost to Callan Potter. I mean, it's hard to trust the guy. Another guy that's hard to trust, but I don't know. I think it's written on the wall, the path to victory for Impa, and that is just, grinding out Patolo. And if he comes in there with that game plan, I think he gets it done. But I just don't have the confidence that a lot of other people do with Impa, that he's just going to go in there and, dominate Patolo. I think this could be kind of a close fight. Not going to bet it, especially with Impa as a favorite. I honestly think this should be closer to a pick'em, maybe even Patolo as the slight favorite, with the experience and all that and with the skill. But I think Impa has the higher ceiling in the UFC. I'm not too high on Patolo at this point. Horrible fight IQ. I think Impa has some fight IQ with, especially with how green he is. I do think he has that fight IQ. So I'm going to go with Impa, the guy that I think has the path to victory, but don't be surprised if Patolo, spoils a lot of people's party.
There you go, man. I feel pretty similar, but I think I got a little bit of a different angle. But Guru, go ahead. Let me get your thoughts on this one, because I feel like I could still be swayed on this fight.
Yeah, I kind of disagree. I mean, I did actually bet on Impa Kasanganay at -125, so I'm more confident in him getting the win, and a couple reasons why. I mean, I do feel like he trains with a lot better people. I mean, when you look at his GMO, I mean, they've been on a tear right now. I mean, they have like Jamie Pickett that just won on the Contender Series, Joe Selecki, John Salter just recently won. So they have a lot of guys around that same weight class as well that are getting wins. Maki just won a couple weeks ago. So I feel like, they're all doing pretty well over there. Scott Holtzman did lose, but, Scott Holtzman, fought Jim Miller, or not Jim Miller. He fought Benio Dariush, and that guy's a beast. So, I mean, it was a decent fight. And I feel like everyone talks about the competition level, and I do agree. I mean, Maki has way more fights, but I mean, when you look at the guys that Maki beat, I don't really think they're much better than like Kalen Hill or Anthony Adams, because he hasn't beaten anyone. I mean, he beat like Chris Cisneros, Charles Bird, who's like 10-6. So, I mean, I feel like, they beat in similar level opponents. And I just feel like on the feet, Maki, he's more of a counter striker, but he has pretty good boxing, good forward pressure. Impa, he's like, I think he's just going to be going forward. And I don't think Maki, with the wild shots is going to knock him out. I think Impa is, going to keep his composure, keep the high guard, and just out-grapple him. And we've seen Maki get tired in fights. We've seen Maki get finished by knockout, by submission. Impa, he's undefeated. He's younger. I think he's a lot bigger, and he's the better athlete, better fight IQ too. So I just feel like Impa has a lot of advantages here. Unless Maki gets a knockout, I think he's going to lose. And I think, as the fight goes on and longer, I think Impa's, possibility of winning just goes up and up. So I just think Impa's going to get the win here.
I tell you what, I'm feeling Guru on this one for sure, man. You said a lot of stuff. A couple things I want to add is, Impa just fought 2 weeks ago. I mean, it's going to be, maybe it'll be 3 weeks to the day, I think. Well, hold on. He was on Contender Series. So I think 2.5 weeks, right, who will have fought previous to this fight. Well, for me, Impa, I mean, that's a very big dude. He's carrying a lot of muscle. I've always been worried, and because it's a common thing. You see these guys who are really jacked up, carrying a lot of muscle mass. The gas tank just isn't there. I felt like Impa had a pretty good pace and gas tank in that fight. I was actually quite impressed. Like, it made me say to myself, wow, this guy can fight 3 solid rounds. Maybe he's a little bit of a slow starter, which, don't get me wrong, it's probably when you have that physique, you probably want to come out of the gates a little bit slower, not, burn through, like kind of like a Maki Patolo, which is kind of what I'm getting at. For me, this fight, I just feel like Patolo is going to definitely be dangerous in the first round. But I feel like if Impa can even probably lose the first round, I think he's going to win the second and third round, though, easily. I think Patolo is going to slow down. We haven't seen him get into the deeper rounds as a 185er. He's carrying a little more weight. At the same time, though, he actually theoretically could have better cardio as a 185 if he was really killing himself to get down to 170. But, my God, we're talking about a guy that lost to Callan Potter. I mean, Callan Potter is not UFC caliber fighter, you know, and Callan Potter took this guy down repeatedly. Is Impa going to go out there and use that game plan? I don't know. One thing I feel like I must bring up, I personally have a rule. I do not bet on guys making their UFC debut, okay? I felt like I wanted to make a bet on Impa Kasanganay in this fight. Here's the thing, though. I feel like we've got a loophole. This is officially going to be Impa's first fight in the UFC, but it will be his third fight in a similar setting. The guy's been on Contender Series twice. This card's going to be at the Apex. This is the same setting. If anything, there were more people at Impa's first fight on Contender Series than there's going to be in his official UFC debut. I don't know if Octagon Jitters is going to be a concept in this fight, given the current setting. I'm kind of thinking I might break one of my golden rules here and put a little something on Impa Kasanganay. You know, he actually got, when this fight dropped, we had dead even odds. The book said, I don't know who's going to win. Let's let the public decide, right? Impa got bet up to about a minus 150 at one point. He's crept back down to about a minus 125. That's almost even money, and that might be good enough for me, man. Like, Maki Patolo's just a guy. He burned me in the Darren Stewart fight. I thought he was I believed him when he got that first win at 185. I said, wow, this guy physically looks better. You know, he was talking in the after fight, I'm a different guy. You know, look at me, I'm a machine at 185. You know, I said, wow, I think this guy's. I believe this guy goes in there and gets guillotined against Darren Stewart. At no point did he attempt to get out of that guillotine. Never fought the hands, never rolled, never did anything. Literally just put both hands flat down on the mat, let himself get choked 4 or 5 seconds, and then brought up the hand to tap. I thought he was going to bring up the hand to like try to fight the arm or anything, do anything, dude. Nope. He brought up the hand just to tap, get me out of here. Quick, easy, painless win for Darren Stewart. I'm off Maki Patolo. I got to take Impa Kasanganay in this fight. I just see a guy with more heart, and that's rare. We're talking about a Hawaiian here. You know, usually these guys are going out on their shield. I don't know, man. There's something about Maki Patolo. I just can't bank on the guy. I like everything I've seen out of Impa up to this point. I'm going to pick Impa Kasanganay. Oh, and I almost guarantee you, boys, I'm going to end up betting him. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm putting a bet on Impa Kasanganay. The only thing I have to worry about is how many units, and I'm still not sure on that. But I got Impa. What do you guys think? Anything you want to add?
I mean, how do you guys feel about Impa by decision at plus 180?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good play, but it's just I don't know. I like the line that I got for minus 125. You know, it's not that steep. And like I said, I mean, Maki is kind of a guy that I don't know. Like Darren Stewart never had a submission, and then he submitted him, and he gets finished a lot, man. So I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I wouldn't want to lose my bet because Impa got a finish or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with Guru, man. If you can get Impa at a minus 125, I mean, don't get me wrong, plus money is always great, but there's no pain like getting the actual fight. You pick the right guy, but then lose by the method of victory. Oh, there's no greater pain than that missed prop bet. You know what I'm saying? When you're on the right guy, I think you're close to even money at a minus 125. I think you got to take it. I think the chances of Maki gassing halfway through the second and just, you know, not having enough output while Impa just keeps touching him, hurting him, the ref jumping in, I think that risk is a little too high for me to take Impa by decision or really any kind of prop, honestly. I would just rather hit that minus 125.
Sure. Good luck, guys. I'm not betting it personally myself, so I'll be rooting for you guys. I just kind of sit back and watch. It's going to be a good fight.
I feel you. Well, we'll take that. We'll take that, Lefty. I'll be honest. I wish you were betting it with us. I wish the whole squad was on Impa, but what are you going to do? I get it. All right. Rolling, baby. We are up to Magomed Ankalaev and Iwan Cutelaba. Who is up first on this one? I'll tell you what. I will go first on this one. So, the rematch. You guys know what I'm saying. We got When was this fight run the first time? I think pre-pandemic, probably back in February, was it? I think we had this fight the first time. It's been rescheduled like 3 or 4 times. Hopefully we've made it through weigh-ins and we actually get to see this fight happen tomorrow. I'm not going to bank on it, man. Who knows who's testing positive for COVID next. I think Cutelaba's already had it, though. Ankalaev would have to be the one this time, but man, what can we say about this matchup? I'll tell you what we can say. We've seen the first 30 seconds of a wild – I don't know if it could be wilder version of this fight. I mean, Ankalaev comes out spamming head kicks, right? I mean, Cutelaba has the guard up. I don't know if any of those kicks are hitting him. I don't know if they're hurting him. Acts like he's rocked, rope-a-doping, whatever he's doing. Apparently, Iwan Cutelaba deserves an Oscar, a Golden Globe, because a professional referee in the UFC said, this guy's so hurt right now, I got to jump in here and save his life. I don't think Cutelaba was hurt in the slightest. I think he was playing it off, trying to get Ankalaev to be a little more wild, to kind of get in, feel like he could finish the fight, and Cutelaba was going to hit him with one of those counter bombs. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the angle Cutelaba was playing. He better not be playing that angle this time, because it ain't going to work. I mean, it's a crazy fight. Thank goodness they're actually running it back. You know, that would be a travesty for that to be the outcome of that fight and we move on. You know what I'm saying? Here's the deal, though. I feel like this fight not a lot different than how I feel about the Patolo Kasanganay fight. Iwan Cutelaba throws absolute death. I mean, he's got the touch of death, the way he throws those shots. I believe he's Moldovan, right? Am I right in that? If not, something very geographically close. But this guy has crazy power. Look at the physique on this guy. I mean, he must be on that next level something USADA ain't testing for yet, because this guy looks so jacked every fight. And I got to be honest, I'm a huge fan. Not necessarily the best well-rounded dude, although he has showed us some wrestling. I want to say, what was it, the Khalil Roundtree fight where, man, the guy went out there and fought like a very strategically smart fight and won. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we're underselling him here as, you know, a guy that's just kind of going out there winging hard in the first round, and 2 minutes into the second round is just there to be hit, taken down, and finished. You know what I'm saying? But for me, Ankalaev, probably just as hard of a hitter as Cutelaba, but just so much more skilled. He's just a better fighter. I mean, probably in every area, you know, not as wild, more concise at the same time. Very aggressive, very good. A guy who is literally 1 second away from being undefeated, got snatched up by a triangle from Paul Craig and somehow tapped at 4 minutes and 59 seconds of the third round. I'm not kidding you. I'm still a little bit shell-shocked by that outcome 2 years down the road. But I just got Ankalaev in this one. He is the heavy favorite. I think Ankalaev probably takes Iwan out mid-second round in this one. I don't think this fight goes the distance. I just think Ankalaev is going to be too much. I think Ankalaev wins the fight probably any way he wants to. I'm going to have money on Ankalaev. Probably going to team him up with that Sean Brady angle. Maybe even use him as another leg on a couple of different parlay options. But I think Ankalaev is just a great parlay piece here. Cutelaba, your classic puncher's chance. Other than that, for me, Ankalaev all day. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good fight. It's the rematch. I'm glad that they're doing it. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be, you know, a lot of tension here. I don't think Iwan wants to go in there and lose twice in a row to this guy for sure. So he's going to be fired up. And obviously in the first round, like you said, he's always super dangerous on the feet. But I actually feel like, you know, on the feet, Magomed looked a lot better than him at range. You know, like he was way smoother, way cleaner with the technique. And I feel like, you know, the best chance that Cutelaba has to win in this fight is, I mean, you can obviously get the knockout, something like that, because he has power. But I think it would be to wrestle like he did in the Roundtree fight. Because, I mean, we've seen Ankalaev get taken down by Paul Craig. I mean, we've seen him, you know, get taken down a couple times in the UFC. So I feel like if Cutelaba can take him down and get on top, maybe he could, you know, finish the fight that way. But, yeah, he doesn't have great cardio. He slows down. And it seems like when he, you know, hits adversity, he doesn't really handle that very well. So I am going to pick Ankalaev. I think he'll probably get the win. But I'm not as confident. I mean, I definitely think Cutelaba could win. And I think the line is a little weird. I mean, I don't know why it would change that much, you know, from the last time they fought. But I do think Ankalaev should get the win.
What do you mean? Ankalaev destroyed him the first fight. Yeah, crazy scenario, man. Listen, let's hope we don't have another weird scenario, because I don't know if we can stretch this out another 6 months to run it back a third time. You know what I mean? Brady, DFS, what do you think, man?
Yeah, this is probably the people's main event, the fight we're all waiting to see. It's going to be a great fight. The thing is, I think Ankalaev wins. I think he's the the better fighter, like you said, pretty much everywhere. It's just Cutelaba is very, very dangerous, especially early. So in the last fight, it was pretty funny. I mean, Ankalaev landed like a head kick or something, and then Cutelaba acted rocked. And then watching it back, like none of those shots that, after he was acting rocked, none of those shots landed. He was blocking all of them. So it was obviously an awful stoppage. I wish it would have went on, but just the tension in that fight, like Cutelaba went across the cage and got in Ankalaev's face, and security had to get into it. I don't know if that's going to happen for the same time here, but I don't know if it does. I kind of like the under 1.5, especially in the small cage where, there's going to be, bringing the action. And I don't know. I like the under 1.5. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. But I don't know. I think Cutelaba is going to come out there like it did last time. Both these guys do not like each other whatsoever. And I just see someone getting finished early, whether it is Cutelaba getting the knockout or Ankalaev surviving the early storm that Cutelaba is going to bring and get some maybe late first round, early second. But the under 1.5 is something I'm looking at, but got to pick Ankalaev here because he is the better fighter outside of maybe a knockout by Cutelaba. I think Ankalaev gets it done. I do think the line is a little bit too wide. I think Ankalaev was like minus 220, minus 230 in the first fight. So for him to be like minus 300, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it's kind of a dangerous fight, but give me Ankalaev, and I'm looking at the under 1.5 because it is at plus money right now.
Right on. So Jay Labrier, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly here in the chat, says that Ankalaev looked off at weigh-ins. Did you guys see weigh-ins? What did you guys think?
I'm not sure. I mean, I didn't think he didn't. I mean, I didn't think he looked off.
I didn't see anything that stood out to me either.
He looked normal to me.
Okay. Brady, I'm glad you brought up the point, man, about the pre-fight. What was Cutelaba thinking? He was just going to walk. It's like he was going to walk right out of the cage or something. You know what I mean? Just walks through Ankalaev. I hate to say it. That had the ref shook. The ref was shook off that. That absolutely played into how this fight was ended. I think the referee said, whoa, got a little bit of adrenaline rush. Guys, I literally am going to turn and ask if you're ready and asking if when you're ready, and we're going to fight. Like if you can wait 10 seconds to do that, we're almost there. We almost made it. You know what I'm saying? But I think the ref got a little shook, and I think that played into this fight. Here's what I'm going to ask. Over or under 8 officials in the center of the octagon not allowing Cutelaba to do that this time. I mean, we're going to see some security in there, I think, on this fight before it gets started. Don't you guys think?
Oh, yeah. It's weird. He does that in every fight, though. Like, he did that with that anti-Gulov, and they, like, bumped chest in the middle of the cage before the fight, and then he did it to Glover too. Remember? Then Glover said like "not today" or whatever.
Yeah, I love that. That was great. Yeah. Great from Glover. And boy, Glover was right. It wasn't that day, was it? So
yeah, man. So yeah, I don't know why that's his thing though. But he didn't dress up green though at the weigh-ins like he usually does.
Man, that's got to be. What do you guys think of a Hulk paint job like that on a human? That's got to take like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Don't you guys think?
Exactly.
And that was thorough. I mean, he had it up to the eye. I mean, it was on point. I understand why he doesn't do that anymore. So, are we all on Ankalaev on this one? No, we just don't feel like taking the shot on the underdog.
Yeah, man, I can't. I wouldn't do it. Yeah,
but yeah, he's a little steep, but is what it is. Any last thoughts on this fight before we move on?
Yeah, Guru, what do you think of that under? I mean, it's plus money. Cutelaba's, insane. Like, what do you think?
How big a plus money are we talking here?
I think it's plus 105, plus 110.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think plus money. I think it's a good play because, yeah, I mean, I think in the small cage, like you said, it could be a finish either way in the first round. So, I mean, the first fight ended in 38 seconds. So if you can get under 1.5 for plus money, it's probably a good bet for sure.
Yeah, I mean, smaller cage, man, it's mathematically proven to shorten fights, So if you think that this fight, even with an extra, 7.5 minutes compared to the first fight, I think they're probably going to get at it. Maybe a little more feeling each other out, but I doubt it, man. When has Iwan Cutelaba gone in there and been, like, reserved? He gets in there, steps on the gas, goes out on his shield, win, lose, or draw. I'm not a big over-under guy. You got me thinking, DFS. That could be – I might be tailing you on that one. I kind of like it the more I think about it.
Yeah, I might have to look into it myself.
All right, cool. Well, there you go, chat. Maybe that under 1.5. Not a bad spot. Okay, we are up to, man, one that I feel like I'm hearing some surprising thoughts on this one, but I think I kind of understand. I can't wait to hear what you guys think, though. Ricardo Lamas versus Bill Algeo. Who do we got going first on this one?
I'll go on this one. I mean, I'm a fan of Rick Lamas, and I hear what you're saying. I do see a lot of people picking Bill Algeo here, saying that they think he's live, he could get the win. But I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like Lamas is a guy that always gets disrespected, underrated in a lot of fights. Like, I mean, I remember he was the underdog when he fought Jason Knight. He was the underdog when he fought a lot of guys in the UFC. When he fought Charles Oliveira, and he gets a lot of wins, man. I mean, I think he was the underdog when he fought Dennis Bermudez. So, I mean, he has a lot of times where he's the underdog, he gets the win. And in this fight, he's a big favorite. And I don't know. I mean, Bill Algeo, he's more of a grappler. I mean, Lamas obviously is older and he's had problems with his chin, but he's dangerous, man. I mean, on the feet, he has big power, definitely has more power than Algeo. I feel like Algeo obviously has the range, but he fights with his hand, like his hand's completely down, his chin right in the air. We saw Brendan Loughnane really piece him up, almost take him out on Contender Series. And even in his last fight, he was fighting I can't remember. I mean, it was like a 10-7 guy, like dueling or something, and he was getting lit up by that guy. He was taking him down. But against Ricardo Lamas, I mean, I can't see him taking him down, controlling Lamas. I think Lamas is a better wrestler. He's a short, compact guy, and he looked really good at the weigh-ins. And then Lamas he's a black belt too, man. I mean, Algeo's a good grappler, but I definitely think Lamas is more dangerous with the submissions, man. I mean, Lamas has submitted guys like Charles DuBronx Oliveira, who, I mean, I don't think Algeo has fought anyone even close to that level. I mean, he hasn't really beaten anybody. I don't know. I mean, I just can't. I don't think Algeo is going to knock him out. I think Lamas should take him out, man. I think Lamas should, finish TKO or submission. So I'm going to go with Rick Lamas here.
Absolutely. DFS, before we pop off, man, we got 300 people watching this video, man. Thank you to everyone watching. Thank you guys in the chat, man. We got some awesome info coming in on the chat. Some really sharp people giving us some really good information and stuff to think about. My man KCOH in the chat. What up, KCOH? So yeah, what I'm saying is if you're new to the channel, man, if this is your first time on Odds HQ, hit that subscribe, man. All we do is cash tickets, baby. It's about making that money. And do us a favor, man. Hit that thumbs up. Retweet this video. We're trying to get it out there, people. We're trying to grow this thing. You know what I'm saying? But if you could, please hit that subscribe button, man. Odds HQ. We got it going on, baby. DFS, hit us up with that knowledge, man. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, Guru brought up some good points, and that's like what I like to hear because I have Lamas in a parlay with Sean Brady. I got it at minus 150, and it's a pretty big play for me. I have 2.5 units on it. I just want to point out some things that, look who Lamas has been losing to, like Calvin Cater, Mirsad Bektik, Josh Emmett, Max Holloway, Jose Aldo, like the best of the best. So, he's obviously fought the way better competition. And what we got to worry about for Lamas is the power punchers, the guys that hit hard. Like, he doesn't have a great chin. And is Algeo the guy to expose that? I don't think so. Algeo only has a 27% finish rate by knockout. He's not much of a power guy. Like Guru mentioned, he's more of a grappler. And is that going to work out against Ricardo Lamas? I don't think so. I mean, someone told me earlier that Lamas is now a second-degree black belt, and he's a great wrestler, great ground and pound. I think he just takes him down and either submits him or gets him out of there some ground and pound. So I think it's a fantastic parlay piece. Wouldn't mind him inside the distance at all as well. So I'm just going to take him in that parlay, and I'm pretty confident in that.
Awesome, man. I tell you what, man, this fight for me, like, I've seen a couple people who, opinion I respect going Algeo, and I just got to be honest, man, I don't see it at all. I mean, at all. Like, in my mind, I cannot think off the top of my head of two guys, especially one making his official UFC debut, who has come in there, and you look at the resumes side by side, it's like a guy who's like making an LFA debut going up against a guy who's only lost and has fought every like title holder and like challenger of one of the UFC's best divisions for the last 10 years. Like, it's just night and day to me. Here's the thing I think that's hanging people up, though. Ricardo Lamas, man, 38-year-old featherweight. I mean, it's like – the guy is going to be done very, very soon. And I hate to say it, one day these guys kind of fall off a cliff. I guess there's people who expect to see Ricardo Lamas come into this fight and be a shell of himself might not be the word. Like, they just think it's going to be a fraudulent performance. I don't think so, man. We had somebody pointing out Lamas looked good at weigh-ins. I mean, don't get me wrong. Nobody likes to fade an old guy more than Just Bleed MMA. I mean, I'm fading the old guys all the time. This is not the spot, though, for me at all. I watched the tape on Algeo. I don't know what this guy's bringing to the table that Ricardo Lamas is going to have a problem with, like in any area. I don't see him getting knocked out. I don't see him getting out grappled. I just cannot figure out in what way Algeo is supposed to win this fight other than Lamas trips walking into the octagon. Like, I think Lamas is a totally solid play. Now, don't get me wrong. I think he's, that minus 300 range, but very rarely do I agree with a guy in MMA. I mean, it's MMA. Anything can happen, right? Yeah, I usually can never see myself going minus 300. That's pretty accurately lined. I think that's fucking fair in this spot. You know what I mean? Like, it's just too much for me to ever think about taking Algeo. He just does not have that something. I even think if we do have a vastly diminished Ricardo Lamas, I think a Ricardo Lamas on the decline is still levels above where a Bill Algeo on the come up is. It's just, I just don't see it. I guess people are fading Lamas off the age because honestly, skill wise, I don't know where you're seeing Algeo as the better guy. I'm all over Lamas in this one. Is there anything you guys want to add to this one?
No, like you mentioned, he looked good at the weigh-ins, and that's what I was waiting for. I wasn't going to bet it. I wasn't going to bet 38-year-old Lamas until I saw those weigh-ins, and I saw what I needed to see.
Yeah, I mean, Algeo's a grappler, like we're saying, and I mean, he's been getting ready for Ryan Hall for a while, man. So it's like, I feel like Ryan Hall is going to be it, or I mean, I feel like he's going to be ready for that grappling of Algeo, especially, because I actually was going to pick him to beat Ryan Hall. So I just think he's going to get the win here, man.
There you go. So we're all on Lamas, man. Let him ride one more, man. 38 years old. Let him get that W. And I don't know though. What do you guys feel about the future of Lamas? I mean, you guys don't see him. Obviously, he ain't working his way back to the title picture, especially at 145. But man, if I'll put it like this, if he loses to a guy like Bill Algeo, he better leave the gloves in the octagon when he walks out. You know what I mean? It's just, for me, this is one of the easiest picks on the card. I thought watching tape I might see something I like that Algeo. It was the opposite. I was incredibly unimpressed. So, yo, what up to we got MMA Locker Room. We got Mills in here. What up, man? Another one of the Odd Squad gang.
But yeah, as far as like the rest of his career, I mean, if he looks good and he did look good at the weigh-ins, I mean, I don't have an issue with him, being like a gatekeeper to the top 10 for a couple more fights. I mean, the fight with Ryan Hall would be a good fight because it's not like he wouldn't get knocked out in that fight, most likely, even if he lost. So, I mean, fights like that would be cool. I wouldn't want to see him fight, obviously, like the top of the division anymore. Like when he fought Cater the last fight, that wasn't a good fight for him. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he's, unless he looks horrible in here, like you say, I don't think he's, at retirement level or anything.
Sure. I mean, I do believe he's lost 3 of his last 4, but it's like DFS said, look at who the names are. Emmett, Cater, like dudes that, have like championship potential, clear contenders. And then you look at the rest of the losses on this dude's resume, it's like champions and former champions. Like Bill Algeo, it's just I'm a little bit baffled. Like I honestly don't even know why they made this fight. So was this a replacement? It was supposed to be Lamas versus Ryan Hall.
It was going to be Ryan Hall, yeah.
Yeah,
they tried to set it up like 3 times, and Ryan Hall pulled out.
Hey, you know what? Let's not get too deep on a theoretical fight. Let's keep it rolling. But let me ask you guys, do you guys know who you would have taken in a Lamas Ryan Hall matchup?
I would have taken Lamas to win by TKO.
Really? How about you, DFS? Do you know?
I had to get into the tape into it, but probably Hall. Probably Hall.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So I like that. Hey, listen, if Lamas wins this fight, let's make that matchup. I want to see that fight. So I especially like you guys are split on it because, man, I'm not kidding you. I can't even tell you who I would pick on that one. The tape would have to make the decision for me, Yeah. All right. So I think we're rolling on. I think we pretty much dissected that one. Oof. And I tell you what, you want to talk You want to talk dissecting a fight with major technicalities? We got Ji Young Kim versus Alexa Grasso. Man, I was about to go first on this one, but I'm not going to do that. Who do we got up? Is it DFS or Guru's turn?
I think it's my turn to dissect this.
Wait to get into this one. Let us drop that
fight. This awesome fight that we're all looking forward to. Alexa Grasso versus Ji Young Kim. And, initially I thought the line was way off, and the line has actually came down ever since. I think Grasso's like minus 320, minus 330. I watched the tape, and, Kim, she has some power. I thought she was going to be the bigger fighter, but at weigh-ins, it was a lot closer than I thought. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but Kim, she has that power. She's very slow though. She's very slow, very hittable, and that's why I can kind of see why Grasso is like a minus 280 favorite, because she's going to have a major speed advantage. But ultimately, a fight you are going to want to most likely pass on. It's probably going to go to decision. I can see Kim maybe landing the harder shots, but Grasso might struggle with that reach. Kim has a 6-inch reach advantage, which is a ton. So I don't know. I feel like this could be kind of close, but ultimately I got to go with the Grasso, the girl that's going to have the massive speed advantage. But it's not a fight I want to target in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, even on a DraftKings, you're saying no.
Yeah, I'm saying no everywhere.
I'm so with you, my man. Guru, hit us with something if you can on this one.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like it's going to be a boxing fight. I don't think Kim could hold her against the cage maybe, but I feel like I don't know if Grasso wants to take her down and submit her, I think that she could maybe do that, but she's not a wrestler, so I just don't see it happening. I think it's going to be a boxing fight and could be close, but I just think that Grasso's a lot faster than Kim, and that's going to be the difference, but because Kim does have that big reach advantage, but she doesn't really have good footwork. I don't think she really uses her reach that well. So, yeah, I feel like Grasso will win, but yeah, I'm not super confident in her or anything.
Yeah, man, I'm with you guys. Yet again, another heavy favorite that you're just kind of strong-armed into taking, Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think Grasso's moving up to 125 for this fight, right? Is this going to be her 125 debut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She looked big, though, at the weigh-in, so.
Really? You thought she looked a little heavy?
Well, I thought she looked big,
okay, you big in
the division, yeah.
Okay, I thought you were saying you thought maybe she was carrying a little unnecessary weight, she was, probably should have stayed at 115. But if you thought she looked good, yeah, man. I felt like she looked pretty good too. I'm always a fan of. Well, I'm not always, but I'm usually a fan of someone moving up a division. You know what I'm saying? Especially a women's fight. Grasso's 26 years old now. Just not cutting that weight, like she could when she was younger, down to 115. I like that move, career-wise, where she's at, her age. I think that's the right time to do it. Man, you watch the tape on Kim. It's women's MMA in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? It's just pure. I can't get anything out of it. Fight she wins, I'm like, boy, that was close. Fight she loses, I'm like, boy, that was close. She's got some split decisions. It's just, I don't know what to say. I understand Grasso being the favorite here, but guys, come on, man. Did we not learn our lesson last week? Another minus 300 something chick moving up making her divisional debut, all that type stuff. What are we doing here? Total pass. I'm going to pick Grasso to win, but man, if there were anyone priced in that range that I'm probably looking to steer clear, probably going to be Grasso. I could see this fight playing out way closer than the implied, than the odds imply. But should Grasso win? Yeah. Do I think she's better virtually everywhere? Yeah. But don't learn your lesson the hard way on this one, boys. I think this is a safe pass here. For all that chalk, we got better options than Alexa Grasso at a minus 325, in my opinion. Anything you guys want to add to this one?
Nope.
Nah, man.
Good deal. Let's keep her rolling. We are we're co-main event already, boys. Yeah. So Robbie Lawler versus Neil Magny. This was originally going to be, who was this originally? This was originally Neil Magny versus who?
Neil.
Yeah, Jeff Neal.
Neil versus Neil. Boy, that was going to be a good fight. My man Jeff Neal, though, came down with a terrible – was it a terrible staph infection or just some sort of a septic shock type thing? But Jeff Neal fighting for his life a couple weeks ago. They got Robbie Lawler to step in. He's been looking for a fight. Who's going first on this one?
Yeah, I'll go first on this one. I mean, it's a good fight. Obviously, I've seen a lot of people picking Robbie, and it's hard to pick Neil Magny over Robbie Lawler, just like looking at name value wise. But when you look at Lawler's last few fights, I mean, I feel like he's looked like, I mean, he's fought real good fighters, but he's looked like one of the like worst fighters in the UFC. Like, I don't know, man. Like, he doesn't do anything in the like when he fought RDA and when he fought Colby. It's like, man, they should just call him like Bob and Weave Lawler, man. I mean, he's not doing anything. He's just standing around. Like, he doesn't throw many punches. And I feel like Neil in the small cage, he has fought in there against Anthony Rocco Martin his last fight. So I kind of feel like that favors Magny a little bit, even though he has the reach. He's kind of good at keeping the range and backing someone up. And then I think if he just, picks at him and then controls him against the cage, it's obviously hard to take Robbie down, but he can get controlled against the fence, just held there. And I mean, he has a chance to get a knockout, but he hasn't gotten a knockout since he fought Rory McDonald in 2015, man. And it looks like, he has a few minutes of cardio and then he slows down, doesn't throw a lot of volume. And when you see an older guy like 37, 38, and they get like gun shy like that, I mean, to me, that's a sign of they're kind of, on the way out. But it's interesting though, because I did hear that Lawler and Neil used to train together, like when, Neil was young in his career, and Lawler's coming in here on short notice. So maybe, he thinks that, he's going to come in here and get an easy win, or he sees something, or I don't know, but I can't pick Robbie, man, even though I want him to win, and hopefully he'll get a knockout. I just think Neil Magny will probably be able to get a decision, man. I mean, when you look at it too, Neil is 16-1 in decisions in his career. I think he's 9-1 in the UFC, and Robbie is like 7-6 in decisions. And a lot of his wins and decisions are fights that some people thought he lost, quite a few of them. So I don't know. I just feel like, I think Neil will win here.
DFS, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to pick Lawler in this fight. It's just, how can you at this point? He's 38 years old. He's definitely slowing down. The output has really dwindled, but just taking a look at some of the guys he's been facing lately. I mean, Colby Covington. He lost to Ben Askren. That was, kind of controversial with the choke and all that. Rafael dos Anjos, Tyron Woodley when Woodley was good. I mean, he's been fighting, the better competition here. It's just, he's 38 years old. I don't think he's the same Robbie Lawler as, we've used to see. I mean, if this was a couple of years ago, I'd probably pick Lawler and I'd pick him confidently, but I just don't think it's there right now. I do think this could kind of play out, close. I don't think Magny's going to finish Lawler or anything. Lawler is very, very tough. And like Gru said, like, Lawler doesn't have a knockout win since like 2015. That was in the 5th round. He doesn't have a first round knockout win since like 2013. So it's been 7 years since he has like a first round finish. So I don't know. I think he's on his way out, as sad as it does seem. I will be rooting for him, but I got to go with Magny here. I think the line is just a little bit too wide, minus 230. I would not really feel comfortable parlaying that, because maybe Robbie Lawler is able to get him out of there. But I do kind of like the minus 110 for a Magny decision. I think if he wins, that's probably his path to victory. If Lawler wins, I think it's pretty much knockout or bust at this point. So Lawler, if you want to bet him, maybe the plus 490 by knockout is not a bad look as well. But give me Neil Magny to win a decision. I feel like it could be close, but I think he gets it done.
Oh, man, I'm so with you, DFS. I mean, and Guru, you brought up some good points too, man. The thing that I can't get out of my head, that like the narrative that I cannot keep, that I just can't get off of, when I think Robbie Lawler, Guru, you said the term that sums it up totally, gun shy, okay? That's not something that, if you're talking a gun shy Robbie Lawler, that's not Robbie Lawler. The Robbie Lawler's thing is, he pulls the trigger. He lands huge shots. He hits you with power shots, and they keep coming, and it's a barrage. You can't take anymore. Look at what he did to Rory McDonald, just constantly over and over. Pop, 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 pop. Finally, Rory said, yeah, that'll be enough. I'm going to go ahead and lay down now. I mean, off of a jab. You know what I'm saying? But that Robbie Lawler is so far gone. I mean, just a ghost. We're dealing with the ghost of Robbie Lawler at this point. I expected Colby Covington to beat Robbie Lawler. I did not expect Colby Covington to absolutely roll over Robbie Lawler the way he did. I was incredibly disappointed, you know. And I hate to say it, you guys are right. You know, DFS, you brought up the fact, look at the numbers, man. This guy hasn't finished someone since Rory. You look at the fights he's won. I know plenty of people who think Cowboy Cerrone beat him. I know most people thought Carlos Condit beat him. I mean, it has not been a good 5 years for Robbie Lawler. I mean, RDA just ran him over. Covington ran him over. Ben Askren absolutely dominated him. I'm just kidding. You know, the Askren, little fluky. I honestly think Robbie Lawler was going to win that fight if it weren't for Herb Dean or the whole situation. We won't get into that, though. I just think, you know, Robbie Lawler, 38-year-old welterweight. I say to myself, man, can I think of any other 38-year-old welterweights? I can think of one. Tyron Woodley. You know what I'm saying? There's no guy out there who I'm fading more than Tyron Woodley. How coincidental, Tyron Woodley, the guy who took the strap off Robbie. I just think they're both done. I think it's too late. I think it's over. I watched an interview with Robbie Lawler coming into this fight. I was thinking to myself, man, if Robbie's talking that talk and I'm hearing some good stuff, plus 200 Robbie Lawler might not be a bad spot, you know. Neil Magny's been taken out by, you know, big-time power hitters, albeit guys that, you know, strategically aren't really headhunters like Robbie Lawler, more well-rounded strikers, if you will. But, man, at this point, I just don't see it, you know, like there's just no way I can take Robbie Lawler. And getting back to the interview like I was talking about, he sounds like a guy that's showing up for a paycheck. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see drive, motivation. I'm not hearing the things I want to hear to be able to back a Robbie Lawler, you know? It's just, to me, total Magny all day. Now, don't get me wrong. When this fight opened up, I want to say, like, Magny was, like, minus 140. Oh, my God. If you're getting Magny at 140, bravo. That's a phenomenal number. Now he's, like, minus 225. Everybody's all over Magny. Actually, he's probably deeper than that. He's, like, minus 250, I want to say. I think you can get Lawler plus 200, like I said. But, yeah, I got to go Magny here. Don't get me wrong. Is Robbie Lawler going to be the best name on Magny's resume? Absolutely. But at this point, is Magny beating guys that probably would beat Robbie Lawler? I think that's probably so. I think we're going to learn a lot about the future of both guys in this fight. So even if this isn't a fight you're necessarily going to bet on, I think this is a fight we're going to learn where Robbie Lawler is. We're going to learn where Neil Magny is. And if you are passing on this fight, do pay attention, because I think you're going to learn some stuff that could potentially make you money further down the road when we see the way these guys stylistically match up. I got Magny in this one. Dare I say I probably will be throwing him as the last leg on a parlay, being as he's the co-main event. I got Neil Magny all day in this one. Absolutely love Robbie Lawler. He was one of my favorite He was absolutely my favorite fighter. When he took that belt off Johnny Hendricks, Robbie Lawler was my favorite fighter. My heart wants Robbie Lawler to win. My brain won't allow it, though. I'm all over Neil Magny in this spot. Anything you guys want to throw on?
Nah, man, I think you covered it for sure.
We beat it to death on that one, didn't we? All right, man. So that takes us up to the main event of the evening. We got Anthony Smith versus Alexander Rakic. Who's up?
I think Guru should go first because he thinks someone in this fight's a bum.
Uh-oh. Here we go, baby. That bum talk. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, I was just talking shit. What I was saying, like, so when Fabricio was gonna fight Gustafsson, and I was picking Fabricio to win, I was just saying that Gustafsson got submitted by a bum in his last fight. But I mean, obviously, Anthony Smith has looked good at 205 in certain fights. You know, he blitzed Rashad Shogun. He did get, you know, the win over Volkan Ozdemir, which, you know, I don't know how he got that win. So I mean, he's a guy that does, you know, get some wins where I don't know. I didn't think he was going to beat Gustafsson either, but you know, I just don't. That is a good win. I mean, I can't take away that much from it. He went over to Sweden, got the win, but you know, I never was sold on Gustafsson being that great of a fighter, even like especially after like 2017. But I mean, Anthony Smith and him on the feet are kind of similar. I just think Rakic I think he picks his shots better, goes to the body, he throws more kicks. And inside, Anthony Smith is more dangerous, like with knees, elbows. And I think that, you know, if he could land like a straight shot or elbow or knee, I mean, he could get a finish. But the first round, I definitely feel like Rakic is probably going to win, man. I mean, Anthony Smith, he's coming off a brutal beatdown, and Rakic is dangerous in that first round. So I definitely think that, there's potential he could get a finish in the first round. As the fight goes on, I mean, I do think that Anthony Smith is probably going to be the better fighter cardio wise, especially in the third round. But I just feel like Rakic is probably going to get out to a big lead if he doesn't get a finish in that first. I also think the wrestling is on Rakic's side too. I think he's a better wrestler, and he looked big, man. I mean, he was way bigger than Anthony Smith, so I don't think Anthony Smith is going to be able to get on top of him where he's usually the best in his jiu-jitsu. Off his back, I mean, he has some decent sweep stuff like that, but Rakic does a good job squaring his hips, staying safe in people's guards, and I feel like he could definitely get on top of Smith and land ground and pound, stuff like that. Yeah, one DM was saying that's a good comment, because if it was 5 rounds, I do think Smith would have a better chance. But 3 rounds, I just feel like Rakic will probably get a big enough lead to win a decision. And I really do think with the damage that Smith took in his last fight and Rakic being the way that he is, he could even get a first-round finish, But I'm going to pick Rakic here. Hopefully Anthony Smith doesn't burn me again, but we'll see what happens. I think Rakic is going to get the win for sure.
Right on. DFS, how you feeling?
Yeah, this is a really good fight. Really looking forward to see how it plays out. Obviously, a lot of people are high on Rakic. I think he's great and all, but I'm not as high as other people are. I mean, look at who he's beat. Look at who he's lost to. I mean, Volkan Oezdemir, a lot of people thought he won that fight. For me personally, I scored it for Volkan Oezdemir. He beat Jimmy Manuel and knocked him out. I mean, who doesn't knock out Jimmy Manuel these days? He beat Devin Clark, and Clark dropped him twice in that fight, which is very concerning. He beat Justin Ledet. I mean, he hasn't fought the best competition, but I do think he's pretty solid. The thing for me and why I'm picking Rakic, I think he's the more talented fighter here. I do worry about the gas tank. I think he is going to win that first round. Rounds 2 and rounds 3 could be a little dicey, but Smith's coming off an absolute beating 3 months ago, and I think that's way too soon. And I watched an interview with Smith, and I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. He said, someone asked him, how much time did you take off after that fight? He said, not much. He said he got right back into it, which is, to me, that's not good. And they also went on to say, he had the best training camp of his life. And, what? Does that even make sense? But I don't know. You can't really look too much into that. But, man, like I said, that's a life-changing beating. The dude was losing teeth left and right. So as much as I want to pick Smith, if this was 5 rounds, I'll be honest, I would pick Smith. I just think Rakic is the more talented fighter at this point of their career. As long as his cardio holds up, I think he's going to win a decision. I think, Smith's very tough. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think Rakic takes this by decision. Would not be surprised if he got him out of there early. Rakic is very dangerous in that first round, but I do think Smith has a pretty good chin on him, and it's going to go to decision. And give me Rakic.
Yeah, man, you guys nailed it. First off, let's just identify this is the rare 3-round main event, right? Now, I don't believe that this fight was originally supposed to be the main event. I think something got moved, and then this fight was bumped up to the main event, which is why this fight is 3 rounds. Because, when the contracts were handed out, like I said, I think it was supposed to be the co-main of this event. They had signed the paperwork for 3 rounds. They ain't going 5 rounds. And I'm with you guys, man. If this was a 5-round fight, I would have to take Anthony Smith, because I truly believe Rakic has barely 3 rounds in him. He's just not a guy whose cardio I have confidence in, Now, when you look at the narrative, does it kind of seem like UFC's going, let's get this Rakic guy. This is kind of a guy we can build up. Let's make it a 3-rounder. We kind of got that Zabit factor here, where the UFC kind of wants to build a guy. I don't know if he's got 5 rounds in him yet. Let's make it a 3-round main event, And when we get that vibe, I feel like it's kind of the UFC giving a wink and a nod to the guy that they know that's going to give the advantage to. In my mind, and I think everybody's mind, that's Rakic here. That advantage right there is huge for me in this fight. I just don't see any scenario outside of Smith landing a big bomb and hurting Rakic and taking him out. I just feel like Rakic wins 2 rounds out of 3 under any circumstance. I do think Rakic probably comes out as the faster starter, wins round 1 and 2, and maybe Smith can pull out that third. But man, this for me is a really tough fight to try to see how it's going to play out. I know both guys are capable of finishing each other. I know both guys are fairly tough, though. I mean, Anthony Smith's so tough that when you have his back and you're knocking his teeth out, he'll casually hand off his teeth to the referee to hold on to. That's not normal stuff. Anthony Smith really does have a lion heart, as the nickname implies. You know what I'm saying? Real tough fight for me to get a read on. I absolutely think Rakic is being a little overvalued here. I think if the value side's absolutely Anthony Smith, I think he can win this fight. That being said, though, man, I got to take Rakic in this spot. I just think that, he's going to learn from that loss coming off the loss to Volkan Oezdemir, a fight that I was so confident Rakic was going to win. Totally bet on Rakic. Totally got burned. Still mad about that one. Rakic, you got to get it done, man. You can't lose 2 in a row. But, man, I just feel like Rakic has the skills. I see him, like I said, winning two rounds out of 3, possibly finishing the fight. But, my gosh, man, Anthony Smith's so tough. I think you have to knock this guy clean out to get him out of there. But all that being said, I got to go Rakic. One thing I want to bring up is both guys are listed as 6'4". We saw at the weigh-ins, the face-offs today, which one of these guys is lying? Because Rakic is clearly 2 inches taller than Smith. Is Rakic 6'6", or is Anthony Smith 6'2", and we're meeting each other at 6'4"? I don't know, but I feel like this is a fight that's set up for Rakic to win. He's the guy that the UFC wants to build. Does that matter? No. We see guys that the UFC want to build up lose all the time, especially lately. Is Rakic going to spoil it for everybody? Ooh, I hope not, but I'll be honest. I'm not super confident in him at that current number. I'm hoping that we get a little more action on Anthony Smith, maybe get a Rakic at a -250, but I don't know, man. Are you guys feeling like you're going to have a parlay piece? Are you going to cap something off with Rakic as the main event and then potentially hedge on an Anthony Smith situation? How are you feeling about betting this one?
No, I just passed on the fight. The parlay that I actually had was Sean Brady and Lamas, and then I have a bet on Impa at -125, and then Emily Whitmire -110. So that's everything that I have right now. I'm not going to play the main event probably.
What do you think, DFS?
Yeah, I'm with Guru. If I was forced to bet this fight, I'd probably go Smith just for the value, and I do think it's going to be a little bit closer than people think, but it's definitely a pass for me. I'm really interested to see if Rakic is able to get it done.
Yeah, at DFS, man, one thing that I feel like I just got to touch on one more time is I'm with you, man. I'm so concerned about Anthony Smith coming back after that. That's one of the worst beatings we've seen in a long time, man. That's a fight that I felt like that ref could have stopped possibly like a round and a half sooner. That was just an unnecessary beating. And this guy's coming back off we've seen people take beatings like that and take a year and a half, 2 years off. This guy's taking like 2 months off. What is he thinking? I'm not liking it at all. I think we might see a changed Anthony Smith. Don't get me wrong. I like what I'm seeing out of Anthony Smith. I feel like he's saying all the right things. I like his attitude. He's a very well-spoken guy. He's a guy who does, commentator type work. He's a very well-spoken dude. But I just don't know if coming off that Glover Teixeira beating, this guy's coming into this fight with how many new teeth that have never been in a fight before. You know what I'm saying? It's real crazy, and I'm very concerned. And then to say he's on the best camp of his life, that just shocks me. How many other people do we hear going, oh, man, I tell you what, this pandemic, it's made for some incredible training. I got to tell you guys, it's just so strange. But I got Rakic in this one. I want to bet him, but I just can't deal with those numbers, man. I think I'm gonna have to pass on this one too, as much as I don't want to. Just too dangerous, man, and just not enough value. If Rakic was like, say, a -175, I'd pull the trigger on that for sure, but this is too steep, man. I just can't do it. The value's all on Anthony Smith. And I think that's all there is to it. Is there anything else you guys want to add to this one?
No.
Nah, man.
All right. Well, we got it done, man. Thank you guys for watching. If this is your first time on Odds HQ, hit that subscribe button. Everybody else, please smash that like button. Hit it like 10 times. Just keep tapping on it, man. They always count. Man, it's been me, Just Bleed MMA, MMA Prediction Guru, DFS, MMA Prediction Guru. Let them know where they can find you, my dude.
Yeah, man. Twitter, you can find me at Prediction MMA, and then YouTube, Instagram, if you just type in MMA Prediction Guru, you can find me on there. And yeah, thanks for all the support. I usually always do my breakdowns Monday or Tuesday, so if you want to check those out over there, for sure, check them out.
DFS, let them know where to find you, my guy.
Yeah, you guys can find me on YouTube, DFS by the numbers. Got a lot of stuff going on there, especially if you guys are into DraftKings, FanDuel, SuperDraft, all that. I do a lot of daily fantasy sports stuff, and I also give predictions and all that betting breakdown. I have a Twitter, DFS_numbers. My Instagram is DFS by the numbers. My DMs are always open for any questions at any time. Feel free to hit me up.
Right on, man. And I'm Just Bleed MMA, dude. You can find me right here on YouTube, Just Bleed MMA, like it says right under my face. Also on Twitter, Just Bleed MMA with underscores in between, and on Instagram, Just Bleed MMA Betting. You can find all of us here always on Odds HQ, odds.com. This is all powered by odds.com, Odds HQ. Head over to the website, check it out. We cover all sports, baby. This is not just an MMA channel. We are MMA dudes in ourselves. DFS gets a little bit beyond that, but DFS, you get into some serious stuff, man. Be on the lookout for DFS with this NFL coming up. The guy's a money maker, you know what I'm saying? And so is my boy Guru, and I try as well. Thank you guys for watching, man. Phenomenal video. Shout out to everyone in the chat, man. We love you guys. Thank you guys for getting it in. It's been phenomenal. Some great, sharp guys in the chat. What is there left to say? Best of luck this weekend. Let's cash these tickets. Let's make this money. Best of luck to everybody, man. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.
Good luck, guys.